Hey, yo, what's up, YouTube? This one to come out. I remember this. My friend really loved cars, and before she passed away, she was telling me, like, when her favorite decked out one, and I was like, well, where are we going to get the rims at? Because she didn't want to go down Philly or whatever. And she showed me this place. It's actually, when I remembered, it was one of the first places that she ever, well, her and I ever just chilled when we were just BSing with each other. But I just wanted to talk about cars real fast because it's been about a couple of my sources, and when I digged into it, a little bit over 6 months or it could have started in a pandemic really, but when everybody had that stimulus money and stuff, they were throwing it at things they didn't need, not necessities. So prices went up in those areas. One of them was cars. So dealerships ended up ordering so much stock, and it was about probably 2 months ago, I'll just say at the least, that they couldn't sell them anymore. So there started being all these deals for whatever the financing was, crazy stuff. I like putting the commercials on that they have about the crazy, like, financing and no interest deals, and I wonder what the fine writing is at the bottom that no one's probably reading, but it's not the time to go lease any new cars right now, and it hasn't been probably for like 6 months. But back in the day, on the cars, they used to have to, or they just used to, for convenience for everybody else, write like a guide price on it with like the shoe polish. It looks like a Camaro. My filming skills aren't so good to where I probably could have got right to it, but it's fitting for being the car one. So they used to write with the polish on the cars because you could just wipe it right off or clean it right off, like they do with someone graduating on like the back of the van or whatever, same stuff. And there's no prices. I didn't want to call them because I know a little bit more about the economy, and I'm sure if these people are selling the car, they probably need the money, and they'd be probably mad excited if I called up like, oh, please be a sale, and I'd just be the dick like, oh, how much is it? Oh yeah, thanks, because I don't have the money right now to go buy it, so I wouldn't do that till I had the money. But I'm guessing they're still a little bit high because I've only seen the same cars around here. Some of them are pretty good cars. So that bubble of it being like everybody being able to buy cars for full prices and expensive has been popped. But now the cars that are surfacing, like you're seeing cars surface for people trying to sell them, and nobody needs them or no one can buy them. So those prices have to come down. I'm thinking for sure probably in the winter time they could come down a little bit. I'm not sure how much they would come down more after that because I don't know too much about the cycles in the automotive industry, but I can do a little bit more research. It's just that I was in a neighborhood where my friend basically came to my mind, and I had to come down here and let myself get nostalgic because I miss her, but at the same time bring you guys some news about the economy, because they don't really talk about the car industry basically being hurting right now. So I haven't heard any dealerships go bust or anything, but I know they're not selling Lamborghinis and stuff right now. So most likely the cars that, like the secondhand ones that people are just selling that they have, those prices should go down too. But it might take a little bit because I know Tesla's prices were going down. So if people were still buying Tesla cars when the prices went down substantially, maybe the last thing on anybody's mind is getting a used one, but that's usually what I go for first, because I'm not going to lease out a car just to make myself look rich, and when I could be using that money for investing or saving up to invest into a bigger purchase, but something that produces cash flow. That's why I used to give her props. I'm like, you love cars, so I love it when you talk about them, but I don't know crap about them. They're like trying to read Japanese to me, and they're just so expensive. even back in the day, I don't know how people were just working to get like $20,000 rims on their car like that. I lived in the city of Philadelphia, so sure, some of the drug dealers got it from the street, but you gotta really be into cars to customize them and stuff. I, on the other hand, right now, I'm thinking, because it wasn't too long ago, I really optimal would want to pay $1,500 to $2,000 for a car, nothing more. But since inflation is inevitable still, I'd probably not want to go higher than $2,500, maybe 100 or two above or below that. But I'm not going to pay $3,000 for a used car right now, not at all. Could be getting some gold with that. What else have I seen? It's probably about, I guess, within a 20-mile radius, like just a circle. I've seen about maybe 10 or 15 cars. And the one spot, I can show you, they just cycle through them. And they're probably paying those people to be able to hold their cars there. Man, but this consumer's tapped, even this, open for business. This is an awesome little spot down here. And this looks like no one's here, but it's usually pretty poppin' during the week. It's right by the mall too. It's my little beater. But they even have to put an open for business thing up because I guess no one's even trying to go in there and check out the rims. Which, they've been open forever, for as long as I can remember. It's just more and more, even since the pandemic, seeing all the commercial places shut down that you never thought would. Some of these businesses are going to be gone forever. And I don't know what they're going to do with the property. I'm creative. I'm sure I could figure it out if I could get it. But with the interest rates now, the banks being like tight on lending and all too, it would even be hard to go in unless you just already had billions or millions to even want to do it. So there's so many signs out there that just because we're not like, the mainstream's not just saying like, oh, we're in a crash or a depression, that just indicate it's either on that way or actually it was probably about January, February, I was like, yes, Mom, you just sold our house. She sold our house in Philly, which everyone was mad at me about because I would argue with her and say, Mom, I'll take it over and I'll rent it out. You have it right here. Pass it down to me. I'll take care of it. She's like, nah, I just want to get rid of it. It's going to cost too much to do it with the contractors. And she does all like paperwork in Philly, like official paperwork for someone who owns a business. So she knows all of it. And she's like, I'm going to have to get all these extra permits and then do all the rules. She was just thinking too many steps ahead. And even thinking too many steps ahead and that stress of, or maybe even her fear of it, who knows, couldn't even make her see or give me a chance. Like, wow, he's right, just because it was her house. So I don't know when she got it, but she paid $80,000 for it, probably on a lower interest rate. I think she maybe said 2 to 3% or something low, and she sold it. She got more money for it. She made a profit. And they bought it almost around dumb money time. I'd have to go check it out and see if they're selling it right now or what. But it's in the city, so people usually need it. But I know they needed to fix it up first. So they may have screwed up just as much. So even though I'm not like mad at my mom about it now, as soon as I started figuring out more and more about how it's probably even going to be 2 years till, if our money's still even relevant by then, to bring inflation down enough for interest rates and mortgages and stuff to be bearable. And by then maybe AI really will take so many jobs because it's going to be a few years down the line. So a lot of things are going to be changing. So I'm just a little bit disappointed because it's like, I guess it's my choices from the past that made her not want to give me the chance. So I'll take responsibility anyway. But it just goes to show how people don't know crap about what's going on around them right now. Don't know crap about stuff that can influence their life for better or worse. And then rather bury their head in the sand and be stuck in the matrix than look at the truth. And that's the only thing since a kid I've been advocating and had an insatiable thirst to find. And that led me down many avenues that have given me some strengths and almost otherworldly powers that are going to help me no matter what and give me an advantage. But just as a philosophy, you can see the middle class or maybe employees have just a mind state that's like, as long as you work hard for your paycheck and put money in your 401k, then you can retire one day. Like, I'll say some things to my mom, like, what was it? She was like, she would say, you need to get a job, and then you can do it, then be rich. Or she don't ever like to admit I'm right. She only did twice. And in this case, what she said was, yeah, maybe if you knew about it when you were younger, you would already be rich. And I was like, I would. And she was like, well, I don't know, because I was like, no, Mom, I would. Earlier you start, the better. So I'm starting a little bit later, so I got to be a little bit more on point in terms of knowing what to invest in and all. So that's why I'm immersing myself in it. And have been for a couple years, but it was when my friend died. So it's only been about 8 months that this is my life. And they don't watch the news or anything. They have a good amount of money, so they're not thinking about getting a car or whatever. But I went from telling them like about the BRICS nations and gold and everything, and let's invest. Give me the money, I'll invest. Take the money out your 401k, screw the penalty, give me some money because I pick my stocks individually. No. No one understands that there's a really good chance, depending, that our money, because it's already all the time with inflation losing its value. So what I mean to say is people with no concept of investing, it's irresponsible. And I thought maybe, well, not everybody's meant to be a leader, so maybe it's my responsibility to help them. So I try, and then they call you crazy, and then people don't listen. So it's whatever. I realize maybe the family I'm meant to help, or anybody out there that wants to be a part of mine, or follow me. So in terms of cars, if you're looking for one, or thinking about getting one leased or whatever, can't tell you exactly the time, but they're going to be going down in prices. There's going to be cars you can buy. You could probably go to the dealer and negotiate like a $25,000 less on a deal. And if you were to do that and did get it, you'd start seeing like, oh wow. I think one of my sources said they went into one of the car places, the dealerships, and there was one salesman. And of course, because when you're good at communication, you can. If someone was like, why are you the only salesman here? I'd be like, I'm so good that they got rid of everybody else, but what can I do to help you? And his story was, well, when he asked the guy, I don't think he even knew, but really the truth is that they fired all those people because they can't pay them. They're not getting any sales. And this guy ended up taking a test drive for one, and they tried finagling him into doing some weird thing where you upgrade it, but they said the car he was in was already the upgraded one, but it didn't have any of the official logos on it. And when he asked, because he was privy to the info and knew, he's not dumb, he's like, where are the logos? And the guy was like, oh, don't worry about that, you can just go get one off of Amazon and order it, patch it right on. Like, are you kidding me? And I'm pretty sure there's tons of people that would fall for that, or tons of people that wouldn't even care, because they don't want to be wealthy, they want to look rich. So right now, don't go lease out a new car, don't be buying any houses or anything like that, taking out mortgages, try to get out of debt, hustle as much as you can, get a side hustle, stack up some bread, because there's going to be a lot of opportunities that are coming up. Even if you're not into cars, you don't have to get the cars. I just feel like, and think from what I've been seeing, they've been really in my face with, well, I'm starting to see way more supply than demand. Anyway, until the next one, I'll get at you.